Hey, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day whenever and wherever you see this. I'm here to bring you sort of just a freeform video. I wanted to split up my CD and vinyl and cassette collections into little micro videos where I specifically focused on a specific genre or two. And in this video, what I'm going to be doing is just quickly rapid fire going through my collection of metalcore and deathcore CDs, and I'm just curious to see your guys' opinion on it, as well as like what are some of your favorite metalcore, deathcore albums that are in your collection. I will say as a sort of preface that these are in varying conditions because throughout the years I've gotten them through secondhand means, online, buying them new from like Bandcamp and stuff, but also flea markets, garage sales, thrift stores. So I don't really like know the story or remember the story of how I got every single one of these, but most of these usually would come from either just getting them online or finding them at like a thrift store or a flea market or something. And some of these have been in my collection for quite some time, and I'm excited to show you guys. So starting off, we have My Chemical Romance with I Brought You My Bullets, You Brought Me Your Love. This is funny because this is like OG My Chemical Romance, and it's what the era of like a lot of people think is like the best era before they went a lot more like emo and theatrical and stuff, because a lot of people forget that My Chem was like a post-hardcore and metalcore band before they were like other things, kind of similar to like Avenged Sevenfold. One of my favorite underground deathcore releases I ever got was Bleak by the Green Leaves, and the band themselves actually sent me this, like way back, and I just remember this is like some of the most blown out, heavy, just gargantuan sounding deathcore you'll ever hear, and I highly suggest it. If you're into like really insulated deathcore music, this is a great project to check out. I absolutely love it, and it's pretty brief. Something that I actually got from a record store like the other day, and I'm just including this because I know it's not technically metalcore, but there are some other albums from this band from when they were a metalcore band, and so I thought it would be fun to include. I found Like a House on Fire by Asking Alexandria. It was only $5.98, and it's in pretty damn good condition. Found it at like a little like metal and rock vinyl and CD store. I was out of town, and I don't get much of a chance to like go to that one because it's pretty out of the way, but I was able to find that like on my way out. I wasn't even gonna get anything, and then saw it like as I was going out, and I was just like, okay, sure. Going on to Atreyu, we have a CD that I got at a garage sale like way back. It's a string tribute for Atreyu, and it's kind of crazy that this even existed, but if you want something that's pretty interesting, check it out because it's literally Atreyu but strings. Another Atreyu record. This is a best of. It's a compilation album of Atreyu. I kind of was late to the party with Atreyu. Like, they weren't one of my favorite bands back when like I was first getting into metalcore and post-hardcore music, so I was really happy to kind of get the chance to know them in my later teen years because I missed out on them when I was younger. This CD makes me a little sad because I got it pre-owned at a Best Buy before they stopped selling CDs. Carnifex's Slow Death, incredible deathcore band, incredible deathcore album, absolutely fantastic thing. This is one of my favorite deathcore bands of all time. A pretty underrated deathcore band, I would say. Really love this record, and sad that Best Buy doesn't carry CDs and stuff anymore. Like, obviously they have some like stuff, but it's mostly just classic stuff. I got some really cool metal like from Best Buy back in the day, so it is kind of sad. Next up, Venom by Bullet for My Valentine. I know there's a lot of people that don't really like this album because it is a different approach for them. I personally liked it a lot. I thought there were a lot of bangers on this thing. I thought it came together pretty damn well, and this is actually the deluxe edition. I got this at a Goodwill of all places. So anyone that says that you can't find like some good condition CDs, vinyls, cassettes, that sort of thing from like thrift stores and stuff, you're missing out because you can get some stuff for $2, $3, $4 or less, and it's just incredible. So next up, had to do it to him. Sempiternal, Bring Me the Horizon. You know, if you're a metalcore fan, unless you just really don't fuck with Bring Me the Horizon, it's a classic. It's fantastic. I mean, what more is there to say? It is one of the crown jewels of 2010's metalcore for a reason. Has so many iconic songs on it. This was my third Bring Me the Horizon album I ever collected on physical copy. I think I had There Is a Hell and Suicide Season before, which I could not find my copy of There Is a Hell. I will also say there are other metalcore and deathcore albums that I own, but I have like multiple different shelves. Like I have that entire shelf that goes both like above, it goes like down and up farther than what you guys can see, and then over here I have a whole like side shelf sort of thing with about 100 records through it, and there is just so much scattered stuff, and I didn't want this video to be like an hour long. One of my favorite like post-hardcore and metalcore albums that I try to suggest anytime I get, and I got this at a garage sale, is Alesana's The Emptiness. This is such like a theatrical metalcore and post-hardcore album. Think like My Chemical Romance, but like even more like Theater Kid-esque. Has a really cool digipack case. I remember really loving the CD design on this thing. Like it's really good. It's one of the best post-hardcore and metalcore albums in my opinion, and I think it's heavily slept on. The new Sea Space Cowboy takes a lot of hints from that. I got Bullet for My Valentine Scream Aim Fire for only $2.99. In pretty damn good shape. Now this is like the Bullet for My Valentine that's like the good shit. This is like classic Bullet for My Valentine. But yeah, got it for $2.99 at the secondhand store that I go to, and it's phenomenal. It's a great record, classic record for Bullet for My Valentine fans. Another store that I go to that's called like Odyssey, that's another CD store, and they also do like weed stuff and bongs and vape stuff, is Scary Kids Scaring Kids with After Dark. This is a project that I think a lot of people kind of forget about. Like they were huge in like the kind of screamo adjacent metalcore and post-hardcore scene, and I think they are a fantastic project. If you want some of that like nostalgia, they definitely scratch that itch. We got Clairvoyant by The Contortionist. Phenomenal band, adore The Contortionist, don't have much else to say. Like they are one of my favorite bands of all time. I also have a signed copy of Language, and I'm not entirely sure where that went. I tried my best to look for it, but like I said, my CDs and vinyls and cassettes get like scattered a lot, and because I just run out of room because I have so many, and yeah, I know, woe was me. But yeah, Clairvoyant, fantastic. I know it's a lot of a different sort of approach, like it's more post-rock and post-metal inspired, but I personally really like this, and I used to actually sleep to a lot of the music because I have trouble sleeping, and it was one of the records that really helped me, like, I guess, fall asleep. It kind of had that ambient quality. We got Impulse by Era, my favorite gent band, my favorite progressive metalcore band. When I first discovered them, I literally went apeshit, and I found a listing, I believe it was on eBay, that came with Augment and Impulse, I believe. Yes. Yeah, and then the first ever album I got from them was Drift, and I got it from an FYE, but once again, really cool digipack, unfolds, great artwork, it's really cool, love the disc design. It's obviously like kind of immature era in a way, or not, immature is not the right word. Like, I guess the way to word it is like, it's era before they found their stride and fully understood and grasped their style. They were very young into their career. But it is still a really great record. We got Artificial Selection by Dance Gavin Dance. This is the only Dance Gavin Dance record I have, and it's always surprised me because I love Dance Gavin Dance. Like, I love the Tillian era of Dance Gavin Dance, which it's so sad what happened, but I got this at an FYE, the same one, which unfortunately I just keep getting fucked in my area because the only FYE that we had closed a couple years ago. So it made me really upset because some of my favorite records, like, that you'll see throughout this series, if I continue doing this series and if like y'all like it, came from FYE. So for people that aren't from like the United States, or maybe aren't in an area that has it, FYE is basically this like entertainment chain that's usually found in malls, and they have like cassettes, vinyl, CDs, a ton of memorabilia, as well as like anime, comic, movie, manga, just all sort of stuff, imported stuff from like different countries. But yeah, Artificial Selection, fantastic album. I would love to increase my Dance Gavin Dance collection at some point. I know a lot of people aren't a big fan of it, but I do have The Black by Asking Alexandria, the Dennis Stoff era, the singular record with him, and this has some of my favorite songs from Asking Alexandria, and like I said, I know most people like aren't the biggest fan of this era of them, and it's kind of like an awkward transitional period for them. I personally really like The Black, and it holds a special place in my heart. One of the first records that I ever got in the metalcore niche came without the full jewel case. It was at a garage sale, and it was was Stand Up and Scream by Asking Alexandria. And it has like the back. It was not in the best shape, but I can say that I spun the fuck out of this. And if you are one of those people that don't think Asking Alexandria was like influential or good, please go listen to Stand Up and Scream and get off your high horse. They're fantastic. Fantastic deathcore record, The Red Chord, fed through the fucking teeth machine. I adore this record. One of my absolute favorite deathcore records of all time. So much influence in this record, so much power in this record. I think it's heavily slept on. My sister actually got me this record for my birthday many years back. Like, it was a long ass time ago, but this was one of the gifts that she got me one year, and I spun the hell out of this thing on like my stereo system. It is fantastic. Phenomenal mix to it. Great deathcore band. Another one that I got for really cheap secondhand online. It had a little crack in the front of the jewel case, but The Interstice by Brand of Sacrifice. The EP, Brand of Sacrifice, obviously a fantastic deathcore band with slam tendencies, very technical, very heavy. Has one of my favorite songs, Eclipse, one of my favorite Brand of Sacrifice songs of all time. Gargantuan mix to the thing, it's phenomenal. One of my favorite Architects records, Holy Hell. This thing is a powerhouse. I don't think I need to like give too much of an introduction to this. If this says anything, the disc is literally in my stereo system right now. I go back to Holy Hell a lot. It is a phenomenally driven record with so much power and emotion behind it. And when you actually have so much tragedy and trauma in your life, it really does filter through. And I think that's exactly what happened with Holy Hell. It is a phenomenal record. We got Suicide Season by Bringing the Horizon. I'm trying to remember where I got this. I got this at some store because it has like its tag on the back and it says used. I don't remember where I got this from, but I remember that it was sometimes hard to keep like the disc in the jewel case, but it was in really good condition. But yeah, Suicide Season, Bring Me the Horizon. This is like when they started on their full metalcore trajectory. Has a ton of classics on it. Obviously, like, some people aren't gonna like it for how immature it is and how like kind of youthful it is, but I personally really like it. I think some people are gonna kind of be hit or miss whether or not this could be counted as a metalcore album, because I think they're more like emo and post-hardcore. But Dashboard Confessionals, A Mark, A Mission, A Brand, A Scar. I got this at a Goodwill, if I remember correctly. Just some great post-hardcore emo with like metalcore tinges to it. Dashboard Confessional obviously had a ton of influence on a ton of people, a lot of bands. Love their collaborations. Love their collaboration with Nothing Nowhere. What was that song called? It was called Hopes Up. Got Born of Osiris, Soul Sphere. It is a fantastic record, and I know not everyone enjoys it, but I personally really fucking like it. I actually got this from like the Sumerian Records website back in the day, and it was one of the first records that I ever bought off Sumerian Records, who turned out to be one of my absolute favorite labels just for metal, period. I love so many bands that come from Sumerian Records, and they were such a catalyst for what got me into like metalcore and deathcore music. And Soul Sphere is just a phenomenal album. I know a lot of people don't like Tomorrow We Die Live or Soul Sphere, but I personally really like that era of Born of Osiris. The other record that I got when I got Carnifex's Slow Death was The Eternal Reign by Born of Osiris. I believe they redid like the New Reign for like the 10th anniversary or something. Awesome digipack for this thing. Really awesome art, but it's Born of Osiris. What do you expect? Here's a CD. Looks really cool. Great design on it. Really great like resurgence of their past style. And I love bands that are willing to pay homage to their past material. I think it's always like awesome. One of my favorite metalcore records of all time, and one of the albums that really got me into metalcore, Shadows Are Security, As I Lay Dying. Top tier metalcore music. Not much to say about it outside of like it is like just the classic metalcore sound that you know and that you love. And if you want to start on like an As I Lay Dying record, that is an amazing place to start. Got Beartooth's The Disease, or just Disease, excuse me. Very good, like, punk-infused, like, hardcore punk-infused metalcore music. I actually really related a lot to the lyrics on this thing. I was happy that I got to see Beartooth when they were touring for Disease, and it was a great tour. Like, Caleb Stroma was a beast vocalist on it. It is fantastic. Another one of my favorite metalcore albums, and another one that got me into metalcore, and I got this off of, I believe I got this off of eBay, if I remember correctly, and I also have a DVD version of like a concert from this era, from this band, Unearth's The March. Once again, kind of like As I Lay Dying, this is just an absolute fantastic record. Yeah, special edition includes bonus DVD, which I have that over on my shelf. I just didn't include it because like it's like I didn't feel the need to, obviously, but God on Earth, The Mark, phenomenal record, a lot of grit, a lot of bite to this thing. It lives up to every expectation that you'd want from like just a great metalcore album, and it has that classic sound. Another one that I got from Goodwill, we got From First to Last with Heroin. From First to Last kind of gets forgotten about a lot. Just a very simple jewel case, not much to say about that or like the design of it, but it is a really good album, and I remember picking this up. I'm not like the biggest From First to Last fan, but when I saw it, it was like a couple of dollars, so I was like, of course, and it was in really good shape, so I had to do it. Era's Augment, adore this record. This is like peak Era for a lot of people and will never be outdone no matter how hard they try in a lot of people's eyes. Phenomenal record, pretty much front to back, incredible songwriting. You can literally just listen to this in one go and be like perfectly content and happy with that. Next up we have Era's Neon. This is another record that I think a lot of people feel is like a peak for them. It's not my favorite from them. I got it on release because I'm a fucking fanatic with Era, and I'll probably include like some more Era stuff in the next couple of videos or something, but that record is great. It was a cool transitional period from them and kind of, I think, built on what Drift was really well. We got The Curse, Atreyu, really classic record here, really great, just like kind of sceney metalcore type of music, what you would expect from that, sort of that 2000s scene. Then I used to go to a flea market with my family way back when in Ohio, and there was a vendor that had a lot of CDs, and it was very early on into when I was getting into metalcore. Like, it was one of the first records I ever owned, period. As Daylight Dies, Killswitch Engage. And I think anyone watching this that's heard this is like, what a phenomenal place to start. It really is just an amazing record. I love the Howard Jones era of Killswitch Engage, and it is so influential for a damn good reason. But that'll do it for this episode of the collection. I don't want to keep you guys too long, and I want to save some of the other records for like other parts. There's plenty to go through, so let me know if you'd like to see this series continue, have a little bit of just a powwow, more personal sort of video, just flying off the mouth. Be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to join the review family today, and smash that notification bell to be notified of my future uploads. You know who it is. My name is Jay Morris, and I'm signing off saying farewell.